Welcome to the Pelvic Power Podcast. My name is Penny, and I am the host of this lovely space. I am a pelvic floor yoga teacher who teaches people with pelvic pain how to use movement, breathwork, and body awareness to ease and manage their pain while living a pleasurable life. In this space, we'll be talking about all things taboo because we love it, and how to support your lovely pelvis and your lovely self on this journey that you are on. I'm very happy that you are here, and I hope that you enjoy this episode. Welcome back to the Pelvic Power Podcast. First off, let's take a breath. And welcome back. I am very happy that you are here today. As always, I have missed chatting with you. Right now, I am on the second day of my period. Tay is playing around with the cords of the podcasting equipment, and I have a neighbor that will not stop banging. The annoyance is definitely there. I also took some time off for myself, which you probably noticed. This is the first podcast episode in 3 weeks, I believe. I took 2 weeks off of podcasting because I wasn't in the right space. I didn't have the right energy that I wanted to bring in to the space. And we'll dive a little bit deeper into that. But welcome. I'm very happy that you are here today and that you are tuning in. So, we are right now in September, and when I was planning on recording this podcast episode 3 weeks ago, I wanted it to be kind of like walking into September, October, November, December. It's the last little puff of the year. What are we working towards? What do we want to accomplish? And I'm not talking in a sense of like, oh, we're gonna hustle to get there. It's more, where do you want to see yourself at the end of this year? Where do you want to see yourself when it comes to your health, when it comes to how your life looks, your happiness? Where do you want to see yourself? What do you want to accomplish? So I was actually looking at my bingo card for 2025, and I realized that I have barely crossed anything off of my bingo card. And I was like, okay, what can I do right now? So this was at the end of August. I was looking at this. And I was like, okay, we're walking into September. I need some fresh air. I need a little bit of a new start. Because, full transparency, I went through, I wouldn't call it a breakup, but a break off with someone that I was seeing for a little bit. And that in itself was hard. This was at the end of August. And that in itself was hard. And I was like, okay, I gotta get back on track with what I want to accomplish, how I want to feel, how I want to show up for myself throughout the rest of the year, and how I want to show up for my people, how I want to show up for this community. So I was looking at my bingo card and I was like, okay, what can I start diving into? One of them was reading more books, because I had on my bingo card read 40 books this year. I've read 6. I read 6 books. So now I am on a path towards reading more books. And some people may think like, you're never going to get to 40 books. No, probably not. I'm probably not going to get to 40 books because that's a lot of books for 4 months. But how can I make it more fun in a sense of inviting in more reading into my life? So after going through this break off with this person, I was already feeling a little bit low. I'm like, I need a little bit more new energy. I need more new energy into my life to just like cascade me forward to make myself feel a little bit better. So it wasn't like a force pushing, it was more like, what can I invite in to change the energy of what I'm going through right now? Come September, so 1st of September, I found out that one of my friends had passed. And this in itself, I'm not going to talk much about it because I was in shock and it's really hard to talk about. And grief is difficult and it can feel very heartbreaking. And that part obviously just brought me down even more from the path that I thought that I was going to go into in September, how I wanted the path to go. And that's the thing about life. Life can hit you in so many different ways. And grieving You can feel fine one moment and then the next it just washes over you. Like grief is just so challenging. Like it is really challenging. And I had to like really take a step back to grieve and also to be kind to myself. Because, like, yes, there's so many things that I want to accomplish, but also one of the things that I do want to accomplish is to be more balanced in myself and feel more supported by myself. So it started to becoming, okay, how can I support myself more in this, in the grief, in the heartache, in the sadness, in the anger, in the loss? And I find it hard to do a lot of things. It was really hard, really difficult. And when you work with helping other people feel better, and you're a leader in that sense, in that community, showing up and giving energy to a lot of other people can be extremely hard. It can be extremely difficult. And there were yoga classes. I didn't take any time off of work because for me, yoga can be so healing for me, even when I'm teaching it. But it's also, it opens you up in a sense that makes you feel very vulnerable. And I didn't take any time off teaching. I showed up with what I had and what I had to give. And then, no matter what that may have looked like, if I'm sad, it's okay to be sad. If I'm grieving, that's a part of life. And that gives other people the permission to grieve, to feel sadness, to go through whatever they may be going through. Because this is just a part of life. So, some of the classes, I remember one class, I was teaching the final meditation, and the grief just came washing over me. And in that moment, I started crying. And some people might not have noticed, some people may have noticed. Either way, I was saying to myself that it's okay. It's okay to show up with what I have right now. Even though people may look at me like I am always happy, I always have this much energy, and I'm supposed to show up as a leader in a certain way. One thing that's kind of nice in talking about this is because I can feel myself becoming emotional, but then I also have Tay to kind of break through because she will climb up onto the table, she will bite cords, she will just be a little menace. Now she's biting on something that is on the table. So it's just keeping me a little bit of distraction, a little bit of distracted, and also anchors me a little bit more. As I was saying, is that I allowed myself to show up as who I was in that moment. And that in itself is hard. It's very vulnerable to do that. And I know that often when we're crying, when we're sad, we often say, I'm sorry for crying. I don't know why I'm crying. Let yourself cry. We've spoken about this before. Let yourself feel the feelings that you need to feel because if you're burying it, it's going to get stuck in your body and your being. And that can actually cause you more pain. It can cause you more distress, more pain. And we don't want that. We don't want that in this space. Let yourself feel the feelings. Do not push them away. But also, when you come to that point where you feel like, okay, something's got to change, what is in within my grasp of what I can do right now to make myself feel even an ounce better. So it was about a week after the passing of my friend. I was feeling so low. I was so sad. I was just really low energy, just feeling not like myself. Keep in mind, I said that I'm on the second day of my period right now, so I was in my luteal phase. That did not fucking help. Let me tell you. That did definitely not help with everything that I was going through right then and there. But it was about a week after I was feeling really low. I was feeling sad. I I decided that night, okay, I need to shift something because I cannot feel this way right now. Like, I cannot feel this way tomorrow or the next day. I'm allowing myself to feel the feelings, but also noticing when it really drags me down into a dark space where I feel like not myself. Okay, what can I do to shift this? And it might be such a small thing of what you can do for yourself when you're noticing that, okay, I need to change something because it's within my control. That could be go to therapy, for example. Okay, I'm going to book in a session with my therapist. That's what I need right now. For me, I was like, you know what? I'm going to set my alarm tomorrow. I'm going to go out for a walk. And it wasn't with the intent of going for a walk for physical reasons. It wasn't in a sense of like, oh, I gotta lose weight or whatever. It wasn't with a physical goal in mind. It was because I was feeling my energy, my emotional, my mental health. I was not doing the best and I need to shift something. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go out for a walk, see how that feels. Just getting out in nature, getting out into the sun, getting out, moving my body. I don't do a lot of walking. Like, I am really active, but I don't do a lot of walking. I could spend more time outside. That I can agree on. I can scroll a lot less on Instagram, social media. Here's Tay for you. I can do that for myself because I know that when I get stuck in social media and scrolling, my mental health, you are very welcome right now. You get a first preview seat here to Tay. You're welcome. I know that that is not good for my mental health. I know that I will feel a lot more low. And just like the blue light in itself, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go out for a walk. First thing first, I'm gonna get some sun on my face, in my eyes. I'm gonna get some daylight up in here because I know that that will help me feel better. Do you wanna help me record? Do you wanna hold the microphone? Do you wanna say something? Hi. Hi. She's not very talkative. She has the cutest little meows though. They're so little and cute. So, as I was saying, I decided to go out for a walk, not of the intent of it being a physical goal, just to make myself feel a little bit clearer in my mind. And then, how can I take that to another level? The walking itself is great, but I also have this like intent of listening more to podcasts that I find for my personal, that I find to be helpful, that I find enlightening, that I find fun, things that I am into. So some of my favorite podcasts right now, the first one that I pulled up was actually Date Yourself Instead. Because yes, I just went through a breakup. If you haven't checked out the podcast, I really recommend it. It's not only about dating. She talks about how to get to your higher self, where you see yourself, how you show up in the world. That is actually probably one of my favorite podcasts right now. And then I also started listening to Jenna Zoe, I think her name is. The Human Design Podcast, it might be called. Let me check. Yes, the Human Design Podcast, Align with Jenna Zoe. I like that one as well because I'm into that human design thing. I'm into astrology. I want to learn more about it, so I'm listening to that podcast. I find it to be interesting. So just listening to something that either feels light, empowering, that feels fun, that I find interesting. And not make it specifically work related because I work so much and I focus so much on helping other people, how I can improve their life. And I need to take a step back right now to focus on me and how I can improve my life, especially because I'm going through something that is really challenging for me right now. But then I also was talking to my friends. So I went for a walk. That was a Tuesday morning. Wednesday morning, I went for a walk. I have done it now for a week. I'm very proud of myself. Every morning, I set my alarm, even if I'm going to go up and teach back to back hot yoga classes. I set my alarm earlier so I can go out for at least a 30-minute walk. 25 to 40-minute walk, that's usually what I do, just so I can get some light so that I can feel a little bit lighter. And I was talking to my friends about it the second day that I've done it. And I was talking about, I bring it back to my bingo card for 2025 that I want to read more books. And then I'm like, oh, I can listen to audiobooks when I'm out walking. So that's what I started doing as well. So right now I'm listening to an audiobook that is about quantum leaping. If you're into that kind of thing, give me holla. I find it to be really interesting. I often look at the world as the world as a little, I don't know, sometimes it hits me like it's weird that I ended up here. We're in this specific moment. How did I end up here? I always get like, whoa, mind blown a little bit. And then I started leaning in more to quantum leaping and stuff like that. So I find it to be very interesting. So if you're into that kind of thing, let me know. I said to my friend, one thing that's very 3D to me is watching a squirrel. I don't know why. I feel like I can see a glitch in the matrix when I'm watching a squirrel. I love squirrels. So yeah, if you're into that, let me know because I would love to know. So I started listening to audiobooks. I took it one step further. Okay, how can I support myself? How can I go out for a walk, get some sun on my face? Don't worry about my physical body because, well, that's boring right now. Let's think about my mental, my emotional health, how it can feel a little bit better, how it can feel a bit more balanced and a bit more like myself. And then I added in the audiobooks, the podcast, just because. But the thing is, you don't have to do that. And I often talk about setting yourself up in the morning, how you can support yourself. And it can look different from day to day. It doesn't have to be the same. So when it comes to meditating and breath work, I haven't done that in a while right now. Specifically, my own practice. I do teach it in classes and I still do it in the classes, but specifically my own practice because right now it's not calling to me. And it might be because I'm going through something right now. And sometimes when I do breath work, it makes it a little bit more potent, the feelings, than what I can actually handle right now. So walking is very mild for me and it really helps me. And then I come home and then I throw my legs up the wall just to regulate a little bit more from the walking, also because I have injuries in my body and that really helps to support my injuries. And these injuries are also impacting my pelvic pain. So it all just lines up in how I'm supporting myself mentally and physically, and specifically what kind of goals that I have. Okay, I want to help my pain, my injuries that I have so that I can help my pelvic pain even more. Like it all comes back together. Do legs up the wall, and then I do some of the exercises that I might be given by my athletic therapist, or I do some yoga poses that I know will benefit my body on that specific day. Or I do some MFR that could be rolling out my feet, rolling out my glutes, or just lying there focusing on my breath. So just something really gentle. But how do you support yourself in the morning? So I'm always coming back to that. How am I supporting myself in the morning? I do not scroll first thing in the morning. That's not a thing that I basically do anymore. And now I'm just trying to not look at my phone first thing in the morning. I do check the weather app because I want to know how cold it is outside so I know what to wear. But besides that, I try to stay away from my screen in the morning so the first thing that I get is daylight. Even if it's dark outside, so when I get up at 6:30 to go for my walk, it's still dark outside. I also like to walk without my headphones when it's that early. Specifically, I teach early mornings, Saturday and Sundays, and it's dark out. No one else is up. It's very quiet. I like to listen to my surroundings because that is also very regulating for your nervous system and helps you stay more in the present moment. Using the sounds, what are you seeing? I've actually I started calling it my whimsical morning walks. Whole other tangent. I'm gonna get into it probably because now I feel inspired. This is what happens when I press record because I don't really have a list of set things that I want to share and what I want to talk about. I just go with the flow and say whatever comes up for me. But anyway, I get up early in the morning. It's dark outside, also for safety reasons. That's just me not walking with my headphones on when it's dark out and also being aware of my surroundings. So you can look at it a little bit differently too. Like I'm not walking around with fear because, that's another nervous system part, but not walking around with fear, but just being aware of your surroundings, but also listening in to like what is actually happening around you. Okay, there's an animal over there. There's a bird over there. There's some water. What else can I hear? Can I hear the wind, whatever that may be? But the whimsical morning walks, if you are not on whimsical TikTok, I encourage you to get on whimsical TikTok because I love it. And I'm a very whimsical person and I want to invite more of that whimsicality into my life. So I walk around in my neighborhood. There's some really beautiful houses where I live. So I live in a high rise. I live in a condo. It's a pretty small space. I love my space though. It's very pink, if you can't tell. Very pink. purple, glittery, sparkly things, mushrooms. I have my tarot cards. I have my witchy books. I love it here. But there's some really gorgeous houses in my area. So I like to go out, I like to look around. What can I find that feels whimsical today? So this morning I saw a pole, like it was a little thin pole with a little teacup on top of it, just randomly in a in a in a garden. Like there was nothing else around it. There was nothing growing out of the cup. That would have been even more cute. But just like small things like that, or there's like one house, they have like a hole under a tree and they always put things underneath there. So like when I first saw it, I think it was Halloween last year. They had it made it like a Halloween decorative hole. So it's kind of like a fairy garden or like a fairy hole. And then I got this idea that I have things in my condo. Like I have very whimsical thing in my condo that I can actually walk around and give to these people in their whimsicality. So, like, I dropped off a little mermaid tail at this one place the other day, the little hole. And, like, I have all these ideas. So, I'm like, I'm getting very much into it because I love that stuff too. I have a fairy door in my condo. I have a little fairy mailbox. I got it from my friend years ago. And a part of me was like, I don't know why, but I'm starting to get it now because it's very me. And I think she saw that it was very me. It's very me. So, yeah, bringing it all back, how can you support yourself in what you are going through right now? Feel the feelings, work what you're going through, take your time through the feelings. So, if I just really wanted to rush through it, yeah, maybe I would go and head to my or do my breathwork session and just get very intense into it. But I don't feel like doing it. And also, maybe that's something that I want to be guided through and not do it just by myself. I want someone to guide me through it because that feels more like a safe space that someone else can ground me in whatever I might be going through. So feel the feelings, take your time through the feelings, feel the stillness. So, what can you do for yourself if you are going through things? I haven't had a therapy session since all of this happened. I actually broke it off with this person that I was seeing, cancel my therapy session, make it make sense. And then the day before I was supposed to have my therapy session, I found out about the loss of my friend. And tomorrow I have my first therapy session. Every time I see my therapist, like my first therapy session since all this happened, every time I see my therapist, I'm like, okay, so you want to hear about the novel, the story this time when we're talking? Like last time it was kind of like, oh, I got a cat. Oh, I started dating this boy. And now it's gonna be like, oh, I broke up with the boy. Oh, by the way, I lost someone. And my cat is driving me a little bit cuckoo sometimes. And I'm also on my period. So bring on the tears. But that is in an environment where someone can still ground me in what I'm going through. And that's what's so nice with therapy or going to yoga practice. I have people that come to my classes and they're going through things. And that's okay. Go through the things throughout your practice. Like sometimes I find that a yoga practice can give you exactly what you need if you lean into it. If you actually lean into it, you're using the breath, you're using the movement, you're using the prompts that I'm giving you, lean into what I'm saying, start to investigate in your body and yourself. That can give you exactly what you need for that specific day. So don't be scared of leaning into it, if that makes sense. I think it does. Okay, well, thank you for allowing me to share in this space. So vulnerable as I do, as vulnerable as I do. And I appreciate every single one of you that is in this space. And it's funny because when this happened with my friend, the day after that, I was supposed to teach 3 yoga classes. One of them being a myofascial release class in the pelvic health yoga membership. And I had to cancel that class because I taught the other 2 classes, but I canceled that specific class. And it was because of that reason, because this space it's a very vulnerable space. We're going through things, we're sharing so many things. And I also know that the people in this space, I have so much love for you and you have so much love for me. And there's just this mutual, there's a connection between each and every one of you that I come in contact with, to each and every one of you that come to my yoga classes. And I just felt like I couldn't. That specific day, I was just so sad. I was grieving so much. I could not show up for that class because I know that it's such a deeper connection with many of the people in that space. But also my pressure release class is pretty intense. You're working with the nervous system, you're working with the fascia. And since the grief was so potent, so new, I knew that it's probably going to be really hard for me to show up without breaking down in that class. And just taking your time going through whatever you're going through. And as I was saying, I'm very grateful for this space because we're allowed to be vulnerable, we're allowed to show up as we are, but also feeling the feelings, but then finding a way to move through it, move forward, not letting yourself get stuck in it and stay there. Try to move forward. Find resources, find other people that can help you move forward. Until next time, remember that you are not alone on this journey. There is support. If you need support, there is support out there. And that you're a beautiful human. And I love you so much. Thank you.